does one get uninvited from their own honeymoon? We're about to find out because today's video is titled, My Wife Uninvited Me from Our Honeymoon. What did you do? Long story, so I will start from the beginning. My wife and I have been married for 2 years, together for 6. Her family has always been very aggressive and rude. It's how they are. And unfortunately, that has included their behavior towards me. They have told me that I am unwelcome, talked about planning to take my children away from me, talked about how me marrying their daughter/granddaughter is the worst thing to ever happen to them. Things have built up slowly, but recently there have been some major events that sparked a bigger fire and made me blow up. Firstly, our honeymoon. My wife was born in Montreal and raised there until she was 8, at which point her mother left her father with the children over his alcohol problem. My wife wanted us to honeymoon in Montreal so she could take me through the memories there and show me where she grew up. When we told her family about this idea, they ended up inviting themselves. Not quite a honeymoon then, more like a family trip. We told them we would like it to be our time alone as we were pregnant at the time with our first and we wanted a last vacation together alone. They could not respect this decision. Furthermore, 2 weeks out from our honeymoon, they reached out to my wife and said that they would be more comfortable if I wasn't there and made her pick either me or them. Okay, so not a honeymoon at all, just a family vacation that now you're uninvited from. After days of guilt tripping her, she asked me to stay home and she ended up going without me. We rebooked a separate just us trip for a month later. When they found out about our separate trip, they got very offended and wouldn't let us hear the end of it. Now, I had finally not entirely gotten over it, but decided kind of like, oh well, it happened and I won't let it happen again. That brings us to this Easter. We were with her family for the holiday to celebrate our daughter's first Easter. The entire time we were there, they were throwing comments about how it is unfair that we don't make more time for them and how we don't put enough effort into seeing them. We were originally staying for 4 nights, but I got called into work and we had to leave a night early. Upon telling them this information, they blew up on me because, quote, I was just trying to keep their daughter away from them. I explained to them that I have a job that I need to keep, and they settled down. They asked if we had any other crap we wanted to dump on them, in quotations. Having already expressed some feelings, I decided to also tell them that I was hurt how often they brought up our lack of effort or how unfair it is that they think we don't see them enough. This made my mother-in-law explode. She started calling me a C word, a piece of shite, and said I am a dirty liar trying to steal her daughter. I couldn't deal with all the name calling, so I got my wife and I told her we were leaving. After we left, her mother was contacting her family and telling them that I was an abuser and that I had manipulated and controlled her daughter into leaving. Then she sent 15 texts to my wife about surviving abuse and how she needs to escape from me. She said I was no longer welcome in their home. I didn't argue and I figured I just wouldn't go there anymore. To finally tie this all up, today my wife got a text from her mother out of the blue. She wants my wife to go stay with her for a week with our daughter. She said that we can just forget anything other happened and treat her like we used to. She also said, quote, this is the way I am and you cannot change me. You will have to learn to accept me eventually. Or not, and just set boundaries for yourself.
I'm just saying.
She wants us to pretend she never did anything wrong and to just put it behind her. She then lectures my wife about learning how to take accountability. This is where I blew up and I told my wife, your family is so manipulative and evil. I will not be taking part in any of their holidays or vacations, and I don't plan on repairing relationships with them, nor ever seeing them again. My wife got upset because she wants us to be able to be amicable as I am her husband and her mother is her mother. Her mother is using that as leverage. I personally can't let go of her past actions and allow her to get away, especially with no apology or accountability. My wife desperately wants me to just be able to forget it. On top of this, our daughter is only nearly 3 months old and my wife has had bad postpartum. Her family is not supportive, so a week with them them would be very difficult for her and the baby. If I was there, I could support her and also look after our daughter. It makes me feel torn between supporting my wife and taking care of my daughter and not putting myself in a position to be so disrespected. So, am I the a-hole? I am still not over the fact that you got uninvited from your own honeymoon and her parents went on the trip instead. That would never fly with me.
I would never.
Edit for more clarity. Honeymoon was November of 2025. We married in May of 2024. June of 2025, we found out about the pregnancy. My wife has promised to stand up for me, and I've always tried to believe that it was true. We went through a rough patch with the honeymoon thing when that went down, where I told her if she couldn't find out how to stand up for herself, then divorce would be involved. Everyone around me, my friends and family, told me not to make a huge deal out of the honeymoon thing because I could just plan another one. She started standing up for me for a few months and things were nice. Then she fell back into old habit. She always says, this is normal. This is who they are and how they behave. And I feel bad because I know that she was just brainwashed for 18 years and has only been away from it for 4. She says that she's starting to see it, but she is too scared to stand up. When we had to tell her family we were leaving a night early, she broke down crying, hence why I had to tell them. Oh man. This is a real toxic relationship with this family. That's going to be a long marriage, just constantly battling her family. You know where we're going. We are not walking, but we are running to the Reddit comment section. Someone commented and said, you would be the a-hole if you stay without major changes. Do you want your child to grow up in this dynamic, seeing this sort of behavior from your in-laws and it being tolerated? What message does that give? As others have said, you need therapy, your wife needs therapy, and you need couples counseling. I hope your wife and you grow together and you can set a clean and clear boundary with her family. If not, then yes, divorce should be on the table with clear rules regarding parenting and exposure to these in-laws. OP responded and said, hoping that this post can kind of help her see that it isn't just me who thinks her family is unhealthy. I hope she can come to the realization that she doesn't want our children around this as much as I don't. Next comment. I'm still stuck on your wife uninviting you from your own honeymoon because her family demanded it. That's unreal. By the way, who paid for the honeymoon? Not that it matters. I'm glad that I'm not the only one who is just not over that. Like, that was a small part of the story. Well, I'm glad you got over that quick because I surely wouldn't. Her family ended up paying for it as they canceled the Airbnb that my wife and I had planned for a larger one to accommodate themselves. The second honeymoon was actually just my wife and I, and it was paid for by my wife and I. I just think it's so annoying that you had to reschedule and go on a completely different trip. That's wild to me. Next comment, what are your ages? We are both 22. That's young. Next comment, you are underreacting to everything. She uninvited you, her husband, from your honeymoon. WTF, my dude. And who are these people telling you not to make a big deal out of it? It is a big deal. It's a very big deal. And frankly, I wouldn't be helping facilitate any time at all between these narcs and my child. I can't believe you had a baby with her, let alone married her. There's no way this wasn't an issue when you were dating. You are not the a-hole, and she needs intensive therapy. Whew, a little harsh, but that's to be expected in the Reddit comments. OP responded and said when we were dating, she lived with her uncle to be apart from her mother and grandmother. The first year of our marriage, she had very limited contact with them. Once she got the positive pregnancy test, they began spending more time together again. Then, in turn, I got to know them and realized they are not very pleasant. Previously, only her grandmother had dared say awful things to my face, and the rest of them just kept it behind my back. And then they got comfortable. Next comment. Did you know what her family was like before marrying her? Had you not met them prior to the wedding? He kind of explained. If you did meet them and knew how they were, how your wife lacks a spine, is unable to defend you and herself, and still chose to marry her, then you deserve this. I don't think I'll ever turn to Reddit for advice. OP said, my wife moved in with her uncle around 14, so she was not around her mother and grandmother often. They really only showed their true colors after pregnancy. Next comment, what are your backgrounds? Her family is French-Canadian. I am dual citizen, American-Canadian with Russian background. Her family is entirely women, aside from her uncle, who I have no issue with. I am male. Next comment, I don't know, but it kind of seems like she picked you for a reason. How similar to her family are you? He said, nearly exact opposite. They are atheist. I am Christian. They drink. I have never drank. They smoke. I have never smoked. They do substances. I have never done substances. Her family were never married. My parents have always been married. Her family never gathers, whereas my family gathers twice a month. I've never really gotten along with her family because they're very abrasive, and I am more of a chill person and I don't cause drama. Sounds like a real fun family to deal with for the rest of your life. Couldn't be me. Now we're moving on to our first update, and it came 9 hours later. Maybe they had a little chit chat. First off, though saying, how did I not divorce her immediately, I want to address this. When we met, she was living with her uncle across the street from her mother. We were long distance, 4 hours apart. I did not meet her mom more than a dozen times prior to marriage because she did not spend a lot of time around her mother. I would go stay with her for a week and we would not encounter her mother even once during that time. Her mother didn't like her independence, so she went low contact with her and told her that she felt abandoned. My wife internalized this. My wife and I got married at 19 years old. She moved from her uncle's into an apartment with me. Once again, low contact with her mom. I had not met her mom more than a dozen times. I only knew at that time that her grandmother did not like me, but even she was not really saying the crazy things that she says to me until we got married. Aside from that, I sat my wife down after gaining some courage from you guys. I have felt like an a-hole for a long time because I was told that my feelings were manipulative and controlling, and so I usually shared only when the weight gets too much. This time I got to share before a blow up, and it was much more productive. Many of you suggested therapy. I told her I don't want to divorce her, but her enabling her family has driven a wedge between us, and that if she went away for a week, she would return to papers. She is not going for a week. She and I are going together for 2 days. We're going to arrive Friday night and we're going to leave Sunday morning. I will be with her the whole time. I am not going to pretend to be friendly with her family. I'm not even going to talk to them at all. As far as I am concerned, I am there with my daughter as her protector. My wife agreed to this. I told her we need to come up with an actual real plan and see some follow through within a month. I take my parental leave in July and I want it to be stress-free so I can enjoy my baby and my spouse. I have a therapist already. I deal with bipolar disorder and I have long bouts of depression. I am referring her to my therapist and I've emailed my therapist about recommendations for couples counselors. Hopefully this isn't just a yes sir in the moment and then a continuation of the same pattern. If that's the case, I will follow through with divorce. I have gathered screenshots from my wife's phone and my phone as well, and I got some from her sister, who also is on my side to an extent. I should have done this sooner, and I just couldn't process that I had come to resent my situation. Thank you for your comments. I will update as therapy goes on, and definitely will update after our weekend. First weekend of June. No, it's only May. Oh, but we have more updates coming in the story. Okay. I thought it ended there, and I was like, you're joking me.
Yeah, you almost overreacted to something.
I was about to be pissed for you guys as well. But first, we're going back to the comment section, back to savage territory. I'm a little scared for them. Someone asked, have you shown this post to your wife? They said, I showed her. I also added an update. She got a wake-up call seeing the comments as she had thought that she was completely in the right and didn't realize that she was treating me like her family does. We are looking into couples counseling and solo therapy for her, as I already have a therapist. And I will update more tomorrow once we have a chance to talk about more things going forward. Next comment. You said the rest of the family had issues with you as well. Is it just the two two other siblings or extended family too? Does mother-in-law control her siblings too? Before putting too many ultimatums, I would also seek couples counseling. Low contact is also probably a good idea. Also, no contact with your kid without you present. Keep that verbal and not written at this moment in my non-legal and not a shrink opinion. Good luck and sorry you're going through this. He responded and said it's mainly just mother-in-law and grandmother-in-law. Her sisters are similarly brainwashed that their mother has good intentions and are similarly narcissistic in that their wants matter more than my safety and comfort. They like to tell me that they have my side and then they tell their mother they have her side because they just kind of want to please everyone. Father-in-law is not in the picture. Next comment, where do both sides of the family live? All live in Canada! Oh, well, this is not very Canadian behavior, if you ask me. We're supposed to be the nice ones, apparently. Why did we get that? I've really always wondered. Like the whole, oh, Canadians are so nice. Like, how long does that go back? Have we always been nice? Are we nice? Do you guys come here and you're like, I get it, people are nice? Because when you're here, like, there's not nice people here. So you're like, are we nice? Next comment. There is a lot unloaded here and a lot that needs to be processed. One, I would be very careful not to let her go on that week trip with her mom. Some may say you're being controlling, but to be honest, her mom may use this to remove your daughter from you, and getting a week head start is a lot. She may say they came to her and you abandoned them. Second, your wife needs to get some counseling. One, for her postpartum and also to learn how to deal with her family's manipulation, and there sounds like there are a lot of narcissistic type personalities there. Threatening divorce as your first big go was a bit of a D move in my opinion. Suggesting or demanding counseling first for both her and couples counseling for both of you should be your only next suggestion. It sounds like she tried but could use more support and tools to keep going. If this doesn't help or work over time, then yes, divorce. Also, make sure you keep a log and journal of all of this, including dates and factual info. It will help you down the road. Just some thoughts on a side note from some of your comments. I am curious as to why they have the opinions of you that they do. True. If they don't even know you, where did it come from? Like they just out of nowhere, or did we have some fights? He did respond and he said, their opinions of me really boil down to two things that I've noticed. Number one being jealousy. Her mother never married, was a substance and alcohol abuser in her youth and dated, slept with others like her, resulting in 3 children and 0 real father figures. Every time she notices her daughters are doing better than her, she tries to bring them down, whether she's being subtle or not. She cannot let them be better than her because it hurts her self-esteem. And number 2, lack of control. My wife does not stand up to them, but I have. I have made her stay home before. I have voiced my opinions to them, and I have very openly told them no. They hate that they cannot control me the way they can control her, and that I am starting to take away their control to an extent. I should honestly set a no contact or low contact ultimatum on top of the therapy because of just how crazy they are. But I've been told so often that making them choose between me or them is wrong. Even my own mother says it would be wrong to make her cut her family off, and she knows more wrongs that have been done to me than just what is in this post. Yeah, I can't imagine that ultimatum would go over well. Boundaries is one thing. Keeping them at arm's length, setting boundaries, going lower contact, and seeing how that plays out. Maybe it'll help the relationship. I don't know. If it's a narcissist, there's no changing a narcissist. We got more updates though, thank God. But first, you already know what the drill is, okay? We're drinking some water together. You need it, I need it. Cheers. Another day, another Hannah Montana shirt. We love her. Isn't this so fun? And the fact that it cost me $10 is the biggest flex. We have a pretty fast update. It came the next day. After responses to the first update, I realized I was still not really fully advocating for my daughter nor myself. I was simply compromising to avoid real conflict. I sat down with my wife again and had further discussion. I read the Don't Rock the Boat post to her and compared it to her family dynamic, with her mother rocking the boat and her sisters expecting us to steady it so that they can ride along in peace. I brought up health and safety concerns about a 3-month-old being surrounded by stress, anxiety, and toxicity for a weekend. I brought up that bringing our daughter is not actually for our daughter because, number one, she has no memories of the events yet, and two, our home is healthier for her. I had a funny little moment where she asked if I expected her to go without our daughter, and she said she would never leave her for days, and then I asked why she would expect the same of me. Preach. Valid. Touché. But you expect me to go without her if you go alone and take her. I get it. She quickly said that she sees what I mean and said that in that case, she will not be going and will be staying home with the daughter and I. I also talked to her more about going no contact/low contact with her mother and grandmother and only seeing her sisters and uncle and letting them know in order to see us, they would have to come visit us. I also brought up how in our 6 years, we have visited them nearly once a month our entire relationship, and they have been to our house only in the single digits of times. I think it is 8. I also reminded her that when her mother came down for the birth of our child and she was trying to stay for a week, she ended up leaving 4 days early, citing that she was homesick, and yet holds us to a standard of visiting for more than 3 days at a time, even though she is retired with no children under 16. And we have a 3-month-old, and I also work full-time while also being in school. School, work, husband, father. Like, claps all around. That is a heavy workload. My wife understands that there is nothing positive to come out of continuing to speak to her mother as of now, and she is just trying to figure out how to tell her sister she won't be attending the next family gathering. I suggested inviting her sister down and that we would celebrate her birthday just us and her and get her a cake and whatnot. So she doesn't have to give up celebrating with her sister, but we don't have to give up the health of our daughter and our own mental health. I think continuing daily talks with her will show her the actual importance of this and help her better see the real tension in our marriage from the wedge that her family helped her place between us. I will continue to update if there is something, especially with therapy and with mother-in-law's reactions to the fact that we are not attending. However, that is it so far. There is no update, which means maybe it wasn't worth writing up yet. You know, if anything, I already know how it's going to go. Obviously, mother-in-law is going to be unhappy, and it is what it is. You know, I want to know what you guys would do in this position. Where do you stand on all of this? What are you thinking? Was he an a-hole to, threaten divorce that quick? Is he handling it in a respectful way? What would you guys do? I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.